A mother says a stranger shot her children. Two girls attack their best friend for a fictional monster. A daughter endures years of control, then helps plan her mother's murder. These aren't horror stories. They're real cases that shocked America.
In 2014, in the quiet city of Waukesha, Wisconsin, three 12-year-old girls went out for what was supposed to be a normal weekend sleepover. But what happened next would shock America and the entire world. Two of those girls, Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser, led their best friend Peyton Lutner into the woods. They told her they wanted to play a game. Instead, they attacked her, stabbing her 19 times. Their reason? They said they did it to please Slender Man, a tall, faceless figure from an internet horror story. They believed if they didn't kill their friend, he would come for their families. Bleeding and terrified, Peyton somehow managed to crawl through the forest and collapse near a roadside, where a passing cyclist found her and called 911. Miraculously, she survived. When police caught the two girls, they showed no signs of guilt. They said Slender Man lived in a mansion deep in the wood and that they wanted to become his proxies. Doctors later discovered both girls suffered from severe delusions and mental illness. They weren't sent to prison, but to mental institutions for long-term treatment. The Slender Man stabbing became a terrifying reminder that sometimes the scariest monsters aren't found online, but inside young minds that can no longer tell fantasy.
Did you know, in 1983, a woman named Diane Downs drove her three children to a hospital in Oregon, claiming a stranger had ambushed her car and opened fire. One child was dead, two were barely alive. She told police she'd been the victim of a random attack, but detectives noticed something strange. Diane's calm smile, her lack of tears, and a gunshot wound on her arm, just a little too perfect. As the investigation deepened, her story began to fall apart. The timeline didn't fit. The gun she owned matched the bullets, and then came the voice that shattered everything. Her surviving daughter, Christy. When Christy finally spoke, she whispered the truth. "My mummy shot us." In 1984, she was found guilty of murder and attempted murder, sentenced to life in prison. But to this day, she insists she's innocent. Mother or monster, you decide. Did you know in 2015 Dee Blanchard seemed like a devoted mother caring for her severely ill daughter, Gypsy Rose? The two were local celebrities, beloved by neighbors, charities, and even doctors who believed Gypsy was battling leukemia, muscular dystrophy, and several other conditions. But behind the pink-painted walls of their Missouri home, a dark truth was hidden. Gypsy wasn't sick at all. Dee had fabricated every illness, shaving Gypsy's head, forcing her into a wheelchair, and making her undergo unnecessary surgeries and treatments. It was all a twisted case of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where Dee gained sympathy, attention, and financial help by faking her daughter's illnesses. As Gypsy grew older, she began to suspect the truth. Secretly, she learned to walk, used the internet to explore the world her mother had hidden from her, and eventually met a man online. Together, they planned the unthinkable, Dee's murder. In June 2015, Dee was found dead, stabbed in her home. Gypsy and her boyfriend were soon caught, and the shocking truth unraveled. The girl everyone thought was dying had been held prisoner in a life of lies. The case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard became one of the most disturbing examples of abuse and manipulation, a tragic story of a daughter's desperate escape from her mother's control.